Okay guys, last set of notes. Note that all the word problems on there, I removed them from the homework, they're not on the final. So let's just do a few more problems. Number 6 will look like the last one we did on the last homework, but there's one caveat, which we'll see here when we get to it. So again, just like before, our logarithms all need to be in one log. So addition becomes multiplication. I'm going to leave them like that. And then to get rid of log with no base, remember the base is 10. So we take 10 and raise it to the power on both sides. So 10 to the log base 10 of 3x plus 2 times x minus 1 equals 10 to the first. Anything to the first power is itself. And here we get 3x plus 2 times x minus 1. This is going to be quadratic, so I need to multiply it out. This is 3x squared plus 2x minus 3x, that's minus x minus 2 equals 10. And of course, to solve a quadratic, we need to subtract the 10. 3x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. And here's the problem. To factor this, we would multiply the 3 and the 12, so we're looking for factors of negative 36 that add to negative 1. Unfortunately, there are none, so we have to use our friend, our old friend, the quadratic formula. In order to solve this problem. I know you're thrilled. But it's good to have the tool in case not everything is factorable. So this becomes 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 12 all over 2 times 3. That's 1 plus or minus. This is, it ends up being 1 plus 144, so it's 145 over 6. Now, if you remember correctly, we're supposed to check our answers, and you're probably thinking, how am I going to check my answers here? Well, even if you don't use a calculator, which you can put them in the calculator to see what they are, the square root of 145 is really close to the square root of 144. So these are going to be close to plus or minus 12 over 6. 1 plus or minus 12 over 6. This is close to the square root of 144. So that's about either negative 11 over 6 or 13 over 6, which is close to negative 2 or 2 if you're going to roughly approximate if they're accurate. Now you'll notice if you plug in negative 2, you'll get 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6, plus 2. It's negative 4. Can't have a negative inside the logarithm. So the thing that's close to negative 2 is out. If you plug in 2, you get 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2, that's 8. This is roughly 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so those are both positive, so this one's fine. Now the one with the plus was actually 1 plus the square root of 145 all over 6. So this is your only answer. The minus 1 was thrown out. It was the one close to negative 2. So that's just a word of caution for that kind of problem. And that's probably the hardest kind of problem on the homework. So let's look at one on page 5. Page 5 problems are easy. It says the ln of e to the ln of x minus the ln of x minus 3 equals the ln of 2. Now remember, e and ln cancel, so this is really just the ln of x minus the ln of x minus 3 equals the ln of 2. Now, subtraction becomes division. X over x minus 3 equals the ln of 2. And to cancel out the ln, remember we take e to a power on both sides. E and ln will cancel, so we get x over x minus 3 equals 2. To solve this, we'll multiply the x minus 3 to the other side, provided x isn't 3, but x can't be 3 because then we would have a 0 inside the logarithm, which we can't have. So x equals 2 times x minus 3. So x equals 2x minus 6. Subtract the 2x. So negative x equals negative 6, which means x equals 6. We can plug this back in. We can plug it in here, it's fine. Ln of 6, that's positive. 6 minus 3 is 3, also positive, so that's a fine answer. Now, because we know how to get rid of ln's, we should be able to find the inverse of exponential functions. So remember, to find the inverse, you always replace f of x with y. So So y equals e to the 3x minus 1 plus 4, and then you switch x and y's position. So x equals e to the 3y minus 1 plus 4, and now I have to solve for y. So I subtract 4. X minus 4 equals e to the 3y minus 1. Now I need to get this y out of the exponent, so to do that I'm going to take the ln of both sides. So we have the ln of x minus 4. The ln and the e will cancel, so this equals 3y minus 1. I'm going to get y by itself. I have to add 1, so we have the ln of x minus 4 plus 1 equals 3y, and then divide by 3. So we've got y equals, I'm going to write this as 1/3, the ln of x minus 4 plus 1/3. Just distribute the divided by 3, I like it better that way, but if you leave it all over 3, that's fine. Remember, y then becomes f inverse of x equals this thing. And that's all she wrote. You know, it's been a crazy semester, but you guys have persevered, so good luck on the final.